evolution of the alphabet, from Egypt to the modern days. This is the alphabet. Probably you already know this. But did you know that these letters came from Egypt? Exactly. You are now looking at the ancestors of the modern letters. This style of writing was used in ancient Egypt a long time ago and is called hieroglyphic writing. As you can see, they used a lot of birds and drawings to represent ideas and words. Already in this image, you can see the ancestors of the letter M and the letter O. They are right here in the upper left corner. And by the way, this is the name of Cleopatra written. So, looking at the map, here are the Egyptians. And to the east there are other people called the Canaanites. But they were conquered by Egypt around 1500 BC. Egyptians and Canaanites made contact with each other, trading items and trading ideas. They probably had some conversation like this.
Welcome, guys. You are now part of my land. What do you bring with you?
We are just bringing some items to continue our trade, and I'm also really impressed with everything you got here. I noticed that here in Egypt you guys can write very well. Can you teach me how to write like you do?
Yes, I can. To be able to write, you'll need to learn more than 1,000 symbols. Symbols like these. Each one has a meaning that you must remember.
That looks so hard. I didn't know that this was that difficult. I don't wanna learn it anymore.
Shut up! I'm not done talking. There is a second part in my writing system. We can use our symbols as sounds too. For example, the word owl starts with an M sound, right? So we can use the symbol of an owl as the sound M.
Wait, actually, that second part that you said is very good. Now ignore everything you said before. That last idea is what really works. That's what happened. The Canaanites were inspired by the Egyptians to create their own writing system. They took some hieroglyphs and started using it to represent the sounds present in their language. The first hieroglyph they took was this ox head. That became this with the Canaanites. Other people that lived close to the Canaanites were the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians liked the idea of the Canaanites and then simplified the ox drawing, and then became this. The Phoenicians were great navigators of the sea, that's why they reached distant lands like Greece. The Greeks made their own version of the land. The Greeks also went to the Italian peninsula where lived the Etruscans. And the last step occurred when Romans started using the Etruscan script, and this is the final form of the letter A. It's kinda unexpected to see that the letter A is a picture of an ox, and all letters of our modern alphabet followed these steps. The symbols used in Egypt became inspiration to the Canaanites, that were the real creators, and the Romans created the modern version of the letters. To the Canaanites, ox was called Al. Strangely, the first letter of Al is not A. It's a consonant called a glottal stop. That consonant is a consonant without sound. This ancient Egyptian symbol means house. That's how it evolved. To the Canaanites, house was pronounced something like Beit. So letter A is a picture of an ox, and letter B is a picture of a house. This is the ancient Egyptian symbol of a stick. And Everyone else just started bending the stick in their own way. To the Romans, the letter C made two sounds, the sound of K and the sound of G, so like the C and G in English. So to differentiate between these two sounds, they created another letter based on the letter C, and this is how the letter G was formed. To the Canaanites, stick was called gamel, and this is how the Egyptian symbol for fish evolved. To the Canaanites, fish was called goad. This symbol is a man raising something, and this man lost all of his body except his arms. To the Canaanites, this symbol meant some expression like hey, but they pronounce it like how. This was a very important hieroglyph to the Egyptians. This is a quail chick, and this chick was simplified by a lot. And this time, the Greeks made two versions of this letter. One of these versions became the letter F with the Romans. Also, the letter D evolved even further to become the letter U and W. So this little chick is the ancestor of 5 modern letters: F, D, Y, U and W, but by the time it was pronounced wow. Wow. This hieroglyph has no big meaning, it's just 2 lines. These 2 strokes were used to censor text, so when there were some dangerous words or forbidden words, instead of writing the name, they put these 2 strokes. So these 2 strokes were used for cutting the words. And then the Canaanites interpreted as a sword, and sword was pronounced as Zain. This is a fence. And it became the letter H. And to be honest, the letter H just looks like a fence up to this day. And it is pronounced like this. This time you can see a little dot below the letter H. This dot indicates that's not a normal H. This is pronounced like this. Hut. Hut. It's just a stronger H. This is an R. Also, the letter I was modified to become the letter J. The Canaanites called R Yod. This hand evolves to become the letter K. The Canaanites called him Kap. This is a tool that evolved like this. So this is a tool. What tool is it? this word is used on cattle to get them meat, and the Canaanites called this lamb. This is a ripple of water. Water became the letter N. Water was called something like mine. Following the letter M, we have the letter N. This snake became the letter N because snake was pronounced not harsh. This I was simplified and became just a syllable, and then became the letter O. Say I, you must say also this strange letter. This strange letter is pronounced on, so I to the Canaanites is The Canaanites created this one without the help of the Egyptians. This is a corner. It became the letter P. The word corner is it. This one is a native word of the Malay. The hieroglyph of a head was simplified and became the letter R. This letter R is not the same letter used in English. R was pronounced Rosh. This bow also evolved. To the letter S. Bow was called Thun. Below the S you can see a little line. That line indicates that this sound is pronounced only, so the sound is like thun. A mark became the letter T because it was pronounced ow. And the last letter of all is the letter X, the only letter that has nothing to do with the Canaanites. The letter X was created by the Greeks.